Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? We are here. We're live. Welcome to another edition of 49er Minded, where we get into the minds of 49er fans. I'm here with my boy, John V, rocking the Nick Bosa jersey with the 75th
Yes.
anniversary little patch on there. How
Yes.
you doing, bro?
What's up, fam? How are you? Good to be
All
here.
good. Appreciate. If you guys
Uh,
don't know, John's from the state of Ohio, so he reps that proudly.
Repping the Ohio State Bosa. 14 pressures, no sacks Bosa.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. 14 pressures. Let's say what's up to some people waiting in the chat really quick. We got E Kim say what's up, E Kim. Says hey Bashar and crew.
What's
We
up,
got
fam?
Red Jet Shell. Since the champ is in the house, always great to have you here. He says, let's go. Be sure to like and subscribe. What up, Jimmy?
What's
See
up,
you, bro.
Red?
Says, what's up, Bash and John? Jimmy's awesome. He's on my Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram, you can add me on Instagram. You can add me on Twitter. It's all the same screen name everywhere. There's a 49er Minded Facebook group. However you want to get in touch with me, or just hit me up or whatever. Comment on the things that I post. Go right ahead, man. I'm always talking Niners. Sometimes I don't. I need to be better, as people say, be better. I need to be better at promoting my shows more. The problem is a lot of times I set these things up, on the day of. So literally on the fly, sometimes we set them up like, okay, hey, do you want to go live in 3 hours? Oh, sure. Awesome. Great. Let's go live in 3 hours. Is it like that? Tell me if I'm wrong.
No, that's exactly what it is. I love it. I love it.
I'm a very spur of the moment guy. That's just how I've always been. Sure, every now and then I'll plan something ahead of time, like, okay, on October 31st, we will do this and do that. But for the most part, I'm just like, hey, I feel like coming on. Are you ready? Are you doing anything? Let's do this, And that's
And
just
I'm
kind of
down.
how it goes down. Yeah, that's how I would appreciate you, John. You've always been supportive when it comes to that. And if anybody's popping in late in the chat, no big deal. We'll shout everybody out. I know the other day somebody told me, "Oh, you forgot to shout me out." Like, my bad, because I usually put something out towards the end of the show. It's like, hey, if I didn't shout you out yet, just let me know, let me know in the chat, and I'll try to holler at you and say what's up. But how are things going over in Ohio right now, John?
It's getting cold, bro. It's getting chilly. We're in the 40s. We still have some 60-degree days, but for now, dude, the East Coast is getting cold, man. Getting ready for fall, getting ready for
Bro,
Halloween. Weirdos everywhere.
you know what cold for us is out where I live? Cold is like in the 80s, which I believe
Jesus.
today was like literally like I think high 70s at point. Let me see what the high was today. Actually, 82. It's 82 right now as we speak. Little, but today's considered a quote unquote cold day out here. We've
No.
had the craziest record breaking summer. That's just how it's been out in Northern Cali. But the Niners,
80s.
the Niners, like the 49ers actually play about 2 hours and a half from me in Santa Clara. And when they played against the Cardinals, that was like their hottest day. It was like 100. So the whole Bay Area had the heat. I'm a little further out from the Bay, but yeah, it's been nothing but hot out here. And I literally just been dressed like it's summertime for the majority of the year. Pretty crazy. But
Lucky you, bro.
yeah, I hate to bring up that Cardinal game again because that was a bit of a disaster. I just brought it up briefly, but it is what it is. Yeah, within the course of a 17 game NFL season, there's going to be highs and lows. Hopefully, more highs with this team. We have way too many good players on this team. We have way too many good coaches, despite what some people say. We're just way too good, in my opinion, to have certain lows and lose to certain teams, especially teams like the Cardinals. East, what up, Jess? I see you. She says hi.
What's
All
up,
East Coast
Jess?
Red and Gold podcast. Definitely follow her YouTube channel with her crew. Yes, but yeah, I mean, what were you thinking going into the Seahawks game? What was running through your mind?
Please, let's win. I don't want to go home a loser. I want to be on top of the NFC West at an ugly 3-3. That's about it, bro. I did not want to go home a loser. I mean, that's it. Point blank period. You briefly brought up that Cards game, and I mean, watching Green Bay handle them, it made me mad because that loss was even more shitty, I guess. You know what I mean? Like it just made me believe that like we shouldn't be standing here at 3-3. We should be 3-0 or 6-0. I'm sorry, standing on top of the division. But look, the Niners make things difficult, and they always do. So it is what it is. We're gonna ride this out, man. We have a very special week coming up. So,
Oh yes, we sure do. Yeah, I mean, going into the Seahawks game, a lot of people are like this is a must-win game. If Kyle Shanahan loses, our head's gonna roll, and blah 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 blah. I mean, there were some fans literally typing this crap up during the game. Like I don't like I use the word fan loosely. It's like I literally saw people like either in random 49er chats typing this up or on whatever random tweets. I don't even remember who the names were, and they were just random 49er fans. But we were up, we were up by 10 points, so they were typing up. Oh, we're up by 10 points. Well, that means we're gonna lose. And
Yep.
it was almost like the people that were throwing it out there. The vibe I was getting, like this is what they wanted to happen because if we lose, that means we can fire Kyle Shanahan. So let's lose. And then like later, like we're obviously winning, and I like right before the end of the game, I typed up something like, okay, I want to hear from the people. I want to hear some crow from these peeps that said that we were gonna drop that lead or whatever. But like literally the same people were not celebrating the win. They weren't happy. It was almost like, oh, I'm mad that we won because Kyle Shanahan won the game, and that means he still keeps his job. Damn it! That's like kind of like the vibe I get.
No, that's a good vibe. That's that. Listen, Bash, they're the faithless. We are the faithful and we are the faithless. We have a divide in this fan base, and they will forever, you know, prey on Kyle's demise, and they'll never move forward. They'll never move forward. So at this point, what are you supposed to do? You know what I mean? Like we can't cater to these faithless fans because frankly they don't value this team the way you and I do, the way the chat does, the way that the faithful should. So yeah, I saw that. Look, at the end of the day, there's not much this team can do well in their eyes. So at that point, I don't even when when Twitter took away the block feature, and I know it's X, but I mean that's
Yeah,
trash
I
too.
got you. I feel you.
That's trash too. Um, when they took away the block feature, it ruined a part of me inside because I valued that feature very much so, and I know that a lot of these folks in the chat did too. So now I can't block these faithless fans. I have to see their ignorance and their disregard for this team.
And I don't consider myself like the gatekeeper of all 49er fans. For the most part, the majority of the Niner fan base is awesome. We're great, and
Oh,
it's unfortunate that
100%.
the bad apples out there, kind of do resonate and kind of have like the loudest voice, even though they're not even the majority. They're definitely the minority. But you mentioned that the block feature is no longer there, but the block feature was pretty much there for the offensive line, in my opinion. I mean, we ran the heck out of the ball. I mean, we how many yards did we have? We had like 228 yards in the ground, which is great, which is awesome. I mean, but those say, "Oh, Kyle needs to run the ball more. We need to run more." It's like, okay. Well, I think we ran the ball pretty fair amount with the absence of Jordan Mason, by the way, who was looking really really nice before the injury.
Bro, the AC joint. Mm-mm. This is everything that I worried about. And I was beating the table for the Niners to go after Kareem Hunt um, weeks ago. I mean, way before he was a Chief. I'm telling you, like there needed to be a veteran back behind Mason just to help Guerendo kind of ease into the role. You know what I mean? Just someone there. Because Mason right now is he's killing it, but lo and behold, he has an AC joint injury. And now I'm worried that, that injury is going to I know that he was practicing this week with the blue vest or jersey or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, it's still risky business having him out there. And I don't know, like, how do you feel about this? What do you think's going to happen with him?
It's a little iffy. I mean, I'm not a medical expert. Hopefully he's fine. I mean, I did see that he was practicing, and I'm not sure how much. Yeah, it said he had a shoulder sprain. And he was practicing on Monday,
Mhm.
um, in a blue no non-contact jersey, no contact jersey. So we'll see how it progresses throughout the week. We didn't sign any of the other running backs. I thought we might. I do want to talk about Guerendo really quick though, because I was on with Aaron, and Aaron was talking about Guerendo in the Cardinal game, and he was saying, "Oh." I was thinking like, oh, I literally said in the beginning, I said, well, I think Guerendo did okay on those 5 carries. He had like 4 point something yards a carry, like I think 22 yards on 5 carries, I believe, against the Cardinals. He looked okay, he didn't look terrible or anything like that. But he was like, oh, he thought Guerendo was a letdown with all the hype that he said. But what I was explaining was that there wasn't really that much hype behind him. It was just for me personally, it was just if I had any hype towards him, it was just that the 49ers never draft a height, weight, speed guy, especially at running back. We never ever do. When we finally did, albeit that he didn't have much experience in college. He's as green as they get for rookie running backs. He's super green. Barely had any touches in college. But the coaching staff, Kyle, whoever the scout saw something in him. What I did end it off with Aaron when I talked to him 49ers first takes, what I said was, sure, he's got a lot to learn. He's not polished, and that's clearly evident. But what I said was, and which is, it's not like I was prophetic when I said it, because his measurables kind of tell you that. And we saw one big thing that he did in the preseason. I was like, dude, don't be surprised later down the road you see him bust some 40 yards or 50-yard runs. And I said that literally like a week before he hit that huge, less than a week before he hit that huge run against the Seahawks, which I wish he stayed upright and did not slide. I wish he would have gotten that big touchdown. It was 76 yards. But it wasn't like it was like I was like, oh wow, I predicted something big. Not really. I mean, this guy is built like 6'2", 6'3", 230 pounds almost. Ran like a sub 4.3 40. I mean, and it doesn't take much when you have that kind of speed. It doesn't take much to hit that corner on the outside. I'm gonna have you respond to this really quick. I just want to make sure I don't miss these shout outs. So we got welcome to the Terror Dome. What up, Terror Dome? Says Bashar, receive your flowers, bro. It's okay. I'm maybe if I had a girlfriend or a wife to give the flowers to, I guess we'd be okay with that. But I don't know. There's not much I can do with flowers other than plant them in the backyard or something. We got Jason, Captain Niner, good to see you, bro. He said something in the chat about finally catching a live. Appreciate it, man. Always good to have you. And 49ers throwback is up in the house, in the hizzy, as they say. But yeah, if you want to touch on Guerendo and the Mason, the other running backs, go right ahead, man.
Look, man. Once Mason got hurt, I was freaking out for two reasons: my fantasy, and then I had a little bet going on, and I fell short on both. That said, Guerendo has been stale, right? The kid's he's just raw. Hasn't had, I think he played one game in college, bro. The Senior Bowl, if I'm not mistaken, or senior night or something crazy. I don't even think Guerendo played college football, bro. I think that I read that the dude played one game. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody check that. I could be completely out of my mind, completely lying to you. Nonetheless, I didn't have high expectations for his use this season. I don't think anybody thought Kyle was going to use this kid, especially at CMC come back. You would have just run the 1-2 punch with him and Mason, and you never would have seen Guerendo until maybe next year, right? What's up, T? Look, at this point, Guerendo got hot. Got a 75-yard burner. Fell just short of his first 100-yard game in the NFL. A sacrificial touchdown for Juice. What are you doing, bro? I don't give a damn about George and Juice's hugs with their wives in the end zone, bro. I mean,
was that why they did it? Was that why they did it? Like, okay, we got to do this for TV. We got to do the Levi's leap at Lumen Field. I don't know.
Make it make sense. I think I read or heard that they had wanted to do that. I think the girls had wanted that, or the guys said, if we get a touchdown, we're going to go up there and jump over the wall and hug our wives and blah, blah, blah. It's cute. Like, whatever. But you know what? Guerendo, if you're about to sacrifice a touchdown and your first 100-yard game in the league, dude, let me smack some sense into you, because this isn't right, bro. You earn that tutty and you take it to the house and you do it with the utmost, grit. Don't sacrifice it for Juice. Juice will get his.
He's had his. Juice has had his, man.
Yeah, I love Juice. Don't get me wrong. Dude's necessary in this offense. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise. However, don't sacrifice shit. These vets have had their time. You, my man, barely got any burn. When you did, it was booty. Now you finally break through you sealed the game. You sealed the game. You sealed the game, essentially, right? Don't give shit up. don't ever do that again. Don't ever do that again.
You know, it's funny. And you said that he almost had 100 yards.
Nuts.
I didn't know that it was 10 carries for 99 yards. He literally would have had 100 yards right then and there had he just went for the TD. And for me, it's like for any football player, it's like a natural thing. Like you're gonna to cross the line and go to the end and get that tutty. Now, unless there's a real dire situation where you have to stop the clock, I get that. Probably if you're briefed before the huddle or whatever, you know, I could kind of get that. And if supposedly the people on the sidelines were yelling slide, I hear conflicting reports. I will say this though. What up, John? Oh, that's John V in the chat. That was a different John for a sec. I was going to shout that person out, but I realized it was
you. Dude, hold on real quick. I don't know where or what I read. I must have been sleepwalking, bro, because I thought I saw that Guerendo did not play in college, but here he played 12 games and it's irrelevant. So carry on. I lied, fam. Don't listen to anything I say. I'm a casual.
I know he did have a big bowl game, but that was the only game where he was really used a whole lot. 49 Media is up in the house. Says, what's up, Bashar and Javi? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, I mean, Guerendo looked really nice. And hopefully we see more of that. And Debo went as far as to say that he reminds him of Mostert. That's some high praise, man. Well, the same jersey number.
Well, dude, look, we have we not wanted to execute that outside zone run? Have we not wanted to? We've tried, but we wanted to do it with some speed, with a burner. If Guerendo's that guy, God bless it. Like, let's roll. Because I have yet to see it executed with that kind of speed. I lost my train of thought there for a second. You said that Debo had
compared
given him, high praise and compared him to Mostert. Yeah. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go for it.
Oh, it's all good. That's all I pretty much mentioned. And you mentioned Jordan Mason. It sucked that he didn't play the full game. We get it. It sucked that he got hurt. But 9 carries for 73 yards, 8.1 a pop. He's been balling this year. He's been balling out of control. I mean, other than the receptions out of the backfield, he's pretty much done a whole lot in CMC's absence. More you could possibly ask for in many ways. And now, for some weird reason, he hasn't been a hit. Not that he's been terrible at these type of plays, but we haven't seen him, like we mentioned, how most used to get those big outside zone runs.
Yeah,
we haven't necessarily seen the same success with Mason, but those zone type running plays where he bounces does that jump bouncy thing that he does, that jump step, and then he has a quick burst, man. He's got some pretty good speed on him, way faster than his college 40 dictated. I believe he was like a 4.56 40, which is why he wasn't drafted, and then why he went undrafted. They didn't like his 40 time for whatever reason, but he's got some nice speed, man. He's always busting like longer runs. I'm definitely happy with Jordan Mason as a runner. He just doesn't really have the outside zone part to his game. Patrick Taylor, on the other hand, had 5 carries, 16 yards, 3.2. I'm not too thrilled with Debo as a runner this season. Maybe later we'll catch him on some good outside zone runs, but 4 carries for 3.8 yards. And I forgot to mention the final score was 36-24. Things got a little shaky and scary, and hey, we were going to blow another lead, right? It's all that crap. We didn't turn the ball over this game. There was a crazy stat, like in a lot of those games from 2019 till now, in the Kyle Shanahan era, where in our losses, we just had a crazy, from the losses in those past 5 years, the turnover rate was just ridiculously, we were just coughing the ball up like crazy in all those losses. And what do you know? This team doesn't turn the ball over. We get a W. So that let's hold on to that rock as much as we can. Oh, you're muted, bro.
This whole thing with Mason's injury, it's concerning because we have this game versus KC, and of course they don't have Pacheco. We will have Mason, I think, at some capacity. I'm still kind of nervous. I don't even know if they know if he's going to play yet. Do we have any indication that Mason is a green for go versus KC? That's my first. That's my first concern.
I didn't hear about today's today's practice reports, but I just think it's too early for them to announce that. We'll probably get a better idea on Thursday or Friday.
I mean, I think with that injury, you want a few weeks, 2-3 weeks to really get right, because you don't want to tear it. You don't want to fall in it. You don't want someone falling on you. You just don't want to crush it. I I'm nervous, bro. That if we're discussing Mason right now, my biggest concern is that shoulder. That's the one thing regarding the run game that's got me concerned because Taylor, dude, is just not cutting it, bro. I was not impressed with his runs whatsoever. None, not at all. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Taylor's more of a guy. The scouting report on him is he's not a burner. Probably our slowest back, but he is a guy who can break tackles. That is one thing he can do.
I don't think I saw him break any tackles.
I've seen him do. He doesn't go down easy. He doesn't go down easy.
Ah, Jesus! You saw it in the Seattle game?
A little bit in the Seattle game. I definitely saw in the preseason. And that was the word about him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to hype him up like, oh wow, he's Earl.
No. I listen. I mean, I don't know. You don't even. I'm talking him down for God's sake. So, by all means, enlighten me because from what I saw during the Seattle game, I just was not impressed with this dude. Not even in the slightest. I felt like he looked like a rookie, and Guerendo looked a little more polished, just a bit.
Yeah, and just to touch on Guerendo really quick, once he finally puts things together, he's going to be dangerous. Now, if he stays as that one trick pony for the next 5 or 6 years, all right, whatever. And he's still a Niner, fine. He's a one trick pony. Okay, whatever, cool. But coming out of college, he already has the hands-on part down as far as receptions and receiving. He's a former wide receiver, so hopefully he's the guy we can hold on to, and hopefully he's the guy that they say, oh, Kyle Shanahan can't draft running backs. But he sucks at drafting running backs. So hopefully he's the running back that actually amounts to something that was drafted rather than the undrafted guys that we always have that usually do fairly well. Yep. So we got Terradome says Guerendo has great raw tools, size, speed. Let's talk about the offensive line really quick. What was your take on the offensive line? And I'll drop in my pieces once you're done.
I mean, they played better. I'm not going to sit here. I'm not going to just praise them to everything that's holy and faithful, but they were all right. McKivitz still bothers me. But for the most part, the center position, I think Brendel started to show a little bit of a liability. I don't know, man. The O-line for me is it's wishy-washy, bro. I give them about a C-. I'm not really impressed.
Not even for the run game performance, because
for the run game performance, fine, but pass protection, I wasn't too thrilled for that right side.
You know what? But as far
as Pooney's still, a diamond in the rough. But
Purdy had the highest grade out of all the offensive linemen, by the way.
Yep. He did.
His run blocking, this thanks to John Chapman for all these grades that he has access to that I don't have access to. So got these through him. But basically 87.8 full grade for Pooney, but his his run blocking was 93. He is rated right now as far as his overall rating. He's 8th highest of all the guards in the NFL. And keep in mind, you have 32 NFL teams, right? And there's 2 starting guards in all NFL teams, right? So that's out of 64 guards, he's 8th ranked, which is pretty damn good. So you would have thought
that's incredible.
You would have thought that he was drafted in the first round, and people, I get it. I was one of them. I wanted offensive line in the first round, but he's pretty damn productive.
What'd they grade McKivitz?
Oh, McKivitz actually did pretty well.
Jason said that he's had Jason's opinion. He's had a few good games these last few weeks.
Okay, so McKivitz and Trent Williams only gave up 1 quarterback pressure each guy did. I forgot to jot down his rating, but Williams had a 71 rating and overall rating, and McKivitz was somewhere around there. Actually, the last 2 weeks were the least I bitched or yelled and screamed about McKivitz, despite the fact that we lost to the damn Cardinals, which sucked. But I have not, I have not put the blame on McKivitz's shoulders for any particular reason. So sometimes we'll win a game and I'll be like, oh, damn, McKivitz was terrible out there. What are we doing? And I'm obviously not a McKivitz fan. I've been wanting him replaced for God knows how long, but whenever that day will happen, your camera's been good lately, John. I know I threw that tip at you. Every now and then
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I was slowing down
notice.
on my StreamYard did that to me a lot on Aaron's channel for whatever reason, but it wouldn't do it to me on my own channel. So, Terradome, I am with you on this one. Pro Bowl Pooney might be a possibility his rookie year. Let's just throw that out there. Hey Peter Parker, what's up, bro? I see you. He says Colton. I like this. Colton is ace. It feels like every play he gets overpowered and constantly trying to recover from getting beat on the first step from the edge rusher. In most cases, I have seen that in many games. But like I mentioned,
That's how I perceive it, but I'm not
past 2
really.
weeks, I've seen him do a lot better though. But I'm not going to guarantee that he's going to do that against the Chiefs, which is a very, very true and tough test.
Well, listen, Terradome says fair is fair. I listen. I just not a fan of McKivitz. I think that we're going to see him struggle against better talent. So until we play, some admiral rushers, I'm gonna sit back. Fair is fair, but I will not tip my hat until I see him grade high or good or well enough versus great or elite talents.
I will say this: McKivitz, as good as or bad as he plays, he has the luxury this season of having Puni next to him. Because there's been times where McKivitz did make mistakes, and
Mhm.
Puni was covering his ass.
Sure. But it's a team sport, so it is
Mhm.
what it is. We'll take it. We'll take it we'll take it game for game, week by week. That's the best way I'll do it. I talked a lot of shit on McKivitz in the off season, and it just I got to see him. I got to see him against better talent.
Yeah, and as far as the lowest grade on the offensive line, I don't have the number, but Burford was rated the lowest. Now he had much less snaps than Brendel did. So in terms of guys who got a lot of snaps, I wouldn't be shocked if Brendel had the worst rating because Brendel has been garbage this year. I mean, as much as McKivitz is the low hanging fruit and he's the easiest one to pick on,
Mhm.
Brendel has just been I don't even know why. Like I'm dying for Feliciano to get healthy so we could throw him in there and see what he can do as opposed to having Brendel. I mentioned you earlier, 49ers first takes. Aaron, what's up, bro? We're gonna go live actually
What's up,
later
Aaron?
at 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Check us out on 49ers first takes. We'll be there. And Aaron's always up in the mix. Yeah, I mean, offensive line is the offensive line. We got two studs. Trent Williams, Pooney. Banks is
Yeah.
pretty good. Banks is pretty
Mhm.
good. Brendel is, I don't. You can say what you want about Brendel, but give it again. It is what it is.
I feel
Hopefully,
like Brendel gets a pass. I feel like he gets a pass because McKivitz is usually the one taking up all the smoke. But I feel like Brendel is starting to show a little bit. Fair enough, Jason. I listen, man. I am not an ace on offensive line. It's not my strong point. I never claimed to be. I agree with you, man. You can't have an all pro at every position. That's a fact. That's a fact. However, we haven't gone up against any all pro rushers just yet. So I just want to pump the brakes on, when he has a good game, we'll give him his props. But I do want to see him against better talent. I do. I think
that
so.
that totally reminds me of when I had Javier Vega on the channel a while back, and we were talking about McKivitz, and he's like, "Well, you can't have all pros." Because I was saying, like, we have this guy Trent Williams on the
Mhm.
opposite side, and wouldn't the 49ers try to mimic that on the right side? And he's like, "Well, you can't have all pros at every position, because then you got to pay this guy and that guy." But my point is, he doesn't have to be an all pro, but at least put in somebody that's sign him, draft him, do whatever you got to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Somebody to challenge him because he's not good enough to have this job handed to him on a silver platter. And again, I try my best to be objective. I don't want to be the guy who's the bully and says, "Oh, this guy sucks. He's bad. He's terrible. Blah, get him out of there." Again, like I only played high school football. I played offensive line, but I'm not gonna. I try my best to have more respect for the NFL players, but we can be critical at the same time.
The way that Brock has been dropping back lately, a little bit excessively, it's concerning to me because that's not what Brock was doing before. Brock was hanging in the pocket, making quick throws, right? Getting through his reads, getting rid of the ball. As of late, he's running around, he's evading the rush, he feels the pressure, he moves up and through the tackles, and he's running around. He's running around a little too much for me. And it's starting to affect his timing, so to speak, right? Guys are not getting open, or maybe they were, or maybe they weren't. They're either separating or they're not separating, depending on who you listen to and who's reporting it. But I listen, make no mistake. The way that Brock gets out of those situations is amazing. Like the way that he feels pressure and the way he gets away, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I will not take that away from him. But there's got to be a reason why he's doing that, right? There's a cause and there's an effect to that. So we're praising the offensive line, but Brock is also running around sometimes for his life, and he gets out of it. He does. He gets out of it. But it's starting to really take a toll on the red zone.
It is. We do got to get better at the red zone. And let's talk about Brock Purdy's stat line. Oh, go ahead. You guys see something?
No. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, because we'll transition over to Brock Purdy since you mentioned him. 18 for 28, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Some people thought he had the best game of the season so far. I did, in my opinion, there were a lot of throws that left a lot to be desired. But on the throws that he did hit, some of them were beautiful and really, really nice. And I wish I had a YouTube channel before we drafted Trey Lance, because those who know me and a few other dudes, a couple of dudes put us on to Brock Purdy, and we were like, oh, because this is Brock Purdy's junior season now at Iowa. And we were at Iowa State Cyclones, and we were talking about him like, oh, wow, it'd be cool to draft Brock Purdy in 3rd round. And keep in mind, all my desire for wanting Brock Purdy completely changed when we gave up all those picks to get some quarterback with a top 3 pick. I didn't know who it was going to be. I was like, oh, it's going to be Justin Fields, it's going to be Trey Lance, blah, 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 blah. We got Trey Lance. So I was in Trey Lance mode for till we had him, till we traded him. I was like, oh, wow, we gave up the farm for him. He's going to be our next quarterback. We're going to groom him to be the guy. But lo and behold, the weirdest thing happened where we did end up getting Purdy with the last pick of the draft. And things happened, and he's, been amazing. He's been great. What up, Corey? I see you. See you there, brother. Corey.
What's up, Corey?
Been on the channel before. Fam. Yeah, always good to see Corey. I'll bring him on sometime this season. We'll see what's up. We got Kenny 49ers. What's up, Kenny? Kenny Cope. We're going to collab one of these days. We've been talking about it. Set something up soon.
What's up, Kenny? Good to see you, fam. Throwback. I see you over there, fam.
Yeah, throwbacks up in the house. So there are moments where Purdy, like when I saw Purdy in college, back to me talking about him while I saw him in college his junior year, I literally told my friends, like, this guy looks like a 6 foot bigger version of Russell Wilson. That was a lot of what I saw. That same escapability where we see that craziness. Now he's been doing it a little too much, because I wish he'd go to his checkdowns. And early on when we had Purdy, just like his checkdowns were second nature, right? The quick passes were second nature, right? Therefore, we were really good in the red zone. I get it. I get it. CMC's not around right now, but we have to find a way to make that work. We still have Juice, who's a good receiver, and out of the backfield, and just find a way to make that happen. I think we will in these next few weeks. But Purdy, other than that, I mean, his escapability is really, really nice. It does help the O-line a bit too. I mean, we won't lie about that. But through 6 games, Purdy has dropped his turnover-worthy play rate, according to PFF, while doubling his tight window throw rate. So that's really, really good to know. He had a lot of plays last year that could have been woulda, coulda interception type plays, right? And he's cut that in half, which is really, really nice. And there was another one. Where am I? Oh, his tight window throws. He's doubled actually this year. 3.6 a game as to 7.2. So all those were saying, oh, Purdy's not that good. Everybody he throws to is wide open. All the crap that I heard from the peanut gallery on Twitter or whatever. Hey, they just scheme him wide open. But this is you're the same guy. Hang on. So Purdy's not that good. All right. And the guy you wanted at quarterback is better. Okay. But you're the same guy that tells me Shanahan sucks. So if Purdy ain't that good, and if Shanahan sucks, what were we doing in the Super Bowl? What were we doing in the Super Bowl with the lead in overtime? All right. If they both suck, it's makes some sense to make some sense, dude. I'm sorry if I'm getting off topic, but Purdy, I mean, he's improving. For fuck's sake, how about that deep throw to Debo? Oh, he can't throw deep. He has no arm. Well, his arm looks, not that he's Mr. Ultimate Gunslinger, but he looks the part, man.
He's accurate. What more do you want after what we've been through at quarterback, the controversy, the inaccuracy? What more do you want? He's accurate. He is a top. What is he? Second in the league right now for most yards. Is he second?
I don't have it pulled up, but I could pull it up for you if you want.
Whatever. He's top of the league right now. He's in conversations, being he's already passed up some of the greats in this organization. What are we talking about here? These fans are not legitimate fans. They're just casuals that run around talking shit, throwing shit at the wall. They just want to be heard on social media. Irrelevant, faithless fans. Irrelevant. Purdy has put these discussions to sleep forever. It's nothing they can say anymore. Every narrative, he's hushed it. Every single one. He has now added rushing to his toolbox, and he's running around like a crazy man. Like, he's showing you he can do it all. He's doing a little more than I like. I think he needs to revert back to last year's Purdy. Stand there, stay in the pocket, make those throws. But look, he's doing it with his legs, and he's trying to compensate for the. He's trying to compensate, or Kyle's trying to compensate for the lack of CMC. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out, But the offensive line is grading high, and Purdy's running all over the fucking place. So somebody's got to make sense to me, because it's not adding up. The math. The
solution is to run the ball a bit more. That's what the solution is. Because just put less on his shoulder. Not that he can't take the heat and not do well as a passer. And just to clear things up, he is second in the league in yards. You were right. He's pretty close. 1,629 yards. Geno Smith has the most, 1,778. But Geno's rated at 87. Purdy's rated at 100. And Purdy's got 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, which is nice. And I think he's only going to get better with the touchdowns. So, Purdy's definitely on the right track. We all know that about his scrambling ability and evade the rush and how he's running for first downs. And he ran like a 4.84 40, but his 10-yard split, which is basically a 10-yard dash, was right behind Tyreek Hill, right behind Lamar Jackson. And that's all you need as a quarterback, is just to run for 10 yards. That's it. You don't need to run for 40 yards. Let me say what's up to my boy Dan Castillo, using his wife's screen name. Says, what's up, Bash? Always good to see you. We got fired up 49ers. He's always fired up. Kenny over in the Pacific Northwest, he says, and he hasn't even hit his ceiling, referring to Brock Purdy. 49ers got the best quarterback in the NFL. He might. Mahomes has the rings, and we all know who Mahomes is. We're going to play him, but my point is, Purdy's putting himself up there in that elite top 5 category. Richard Sherman himself said it on the podcast. A lot of people said it. What's his name? Colin Cowherd can say whatever I've been cussing a lot, so I'm trying to keep it clean. He can say whatever the F he wants, and I'm going to add some stuff about Cowherd that I got from John Chapman. But before we do that, let me say what's up to Mike Aruda. What's up, one of my homies from San Jose? Miss you, brother. Long time no see. Bro, I was thinking about hitting you up on my phone not too long ago, and I felt stupid for not doing it now that you popped up in my chat. But I hope everything's good with you, brother.
What's up, Mike?
Yeah, so Purdy's. I think sky's the limit for me. Initially, we thought like, hey, he doesn't have a high ceiling. What you see is what you're going to get, or eventually he might tail off. It's going to be the Nick Foles effect, but I think he's going to be our quarterback for quite some time.
Tough. He's a tough kid, man. Look, we don't have to prove anything to anybody on this channel or any other channel for that matter. Nobody needs to sit here and talk up Brock Purdy. He has done it. He has his body of work has spoken for itself. We're not going to get into that shit. I'm not going to debunk any of these idiots on online. I'm not going to debunk Colin Cowherd. That dude he makes so much money to literally say the dumbest things. Like, I totally messed up Guerendo. He played 1 game in 2020, and I messed that up. Thank you, T, for clearing that up. T is Terradome. I call him T. Nonetheless, I say that I make a mistake on one of these shows, and I will be roasted for it for the rest of my life. Colin Cowherd is making millions of dollars. He's making stupid money. And he can say the most fucking ridiculous shit I have ever heard. Did you see the quarterbacks that he would take over Brock Purdy?
I didn't even want to jot those names down, which I did.
One of those was Bo Nix.
I know.
Has a passer rating of maybe negative. I don't know. It's single digits nonetheless.
When Cowherd put that out, I was like, I'm not even gonna acknowledge the names he put on that list, dude.
I can't, bro. I can't handle Cowherd. He's on a national network. He is live in thousands, millions of homes, maybe. Nonetheless, this guy is saying clown shit about my quarterback, and it's driving me insane. It is absolutely rotting me at the core. And I used to like Colin Cowherd. Like, I genuinely used to like his takes. But now, bro, he is more inconsistent than the weatherman. He is absolutely oblivious to any conversation regarding Brock Purdy.
Yeah, my homie Mike says Cowherd does it for the views. 1 week he praises, next week, he flip flops a lot, dude.
It's insane.
Yeah, he moves the goalpost when it comes. It's weird though, because he seems like I don't know why. It's like I could totally understand why he now Trey Lance has proven that he's proven me wrong. I thought I was hyping up Trey Lance like crazy, like he
top
was
15 in what? Top 15 in what? I saw that.
Go ahead.
I watched the last Bo Nix. All right, go ahead, Bash. I got to look this up.
No, you go ahead. Since you're fired up.
Well, because when he said it, when Cowherd said it that day, I saw Bo Nix, and his QBR was trash. Now it may have been one. What was it? Most recently against the.
They played the Chargers.
They did play the Chargers. Yeah. Okay, he had a passer rating of 84.9,
which is okay. It's okay for a rookie. It's not all that. I mean,
yeah. Okay, it's irrelevant at this point. I guess if you're calling Cowherd, you're taking Bo Nix over Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I
guess that's the point. That's the point I was trying to debunk. But evidently, if Cowherd takes Bo Nix over Purdy, then I'll take that.
What I was trying to say was a blind man will pick Purdy over Bo Nix. And you know what's when John Chapman was staying on his show, shout out to John Chapman, met the guy a year ago. Awesome dude. I need to meet him again. He was saying that like he used to live in LA, and he was telling me that knows some guys that used to work for the Cowherd show, and there's a lot of guys on that work for that show that drop storylines. Hey, Brock, say this because so and so isn't that good, or because say this. It's like he has people feeding him information, and a lot of what it is like a lot of these guys that go on these shows, they don't have time to watch every single game for any NFL team. That's 32 NFL teams. Each game is 3 hours long. Even if you watch the condensed games, that's about 40 minutes, 45 minutes per game. Nobody has it. I mean, you're going to watch some of the bigger highlighted games that through the week, maybe, or bits and pieces. But I don't. At the end of the day, Cowherd's pissing everybody off. He's getting us to talk about him. He's getting the chat to talk about him. And some way or another, he's making all this money. So it is what it is. I mentioned earlier that, yeah, sure, he used to criticize Trey Lance. I forgot to finish it off. He's a little bitter about what happened with his daughter. And Trey Lance has proven that he wasn't the guy. And it is what it is, But let me see what's up to Nicholas Akalatis. Says, what's up, boys? John's great friend growing up, his Greek counterpart. And they run a YouTube channel called The Locker Room Rant, which if you are not subscribed to, they cover the whole NFL, they cover NBA, you name it. Hit up that channel. It's in the description box of this video. And shout out to Nick. He's a Cleveland Browns fan, by the way. Anything to say about the Cleveland Browns really quick?
Yeah.
They got rid of the wide receiver, right?
Yeah, they moved Amari Cooper to the Bills. Yeah. They got a third and a seventh. Nonetheless, look, here, this is what I'm gonna let me put a bow tie on this Cowherd shit. Engagement today has an entirely new meaning. Right? Like now we're not even really talking sports for the fact of the matter, right? I can't even get my facts straight. So if Cowherd can't get his straight, and if he can generate all this money and all this engagement, then it just shows you what the product of sports talk has, how bad it's gotten. When you're getting better content on YouTube than you are on these 3-letter networks, it is what it is. I just, to me, sports talk used to get in there bright and early, prep for these shows, get your facts straight, get your storylines in order, and not sound like a clown. Now, I guess Cowherd can get on there and just say just about anything that he wants. And it's a shame, dude. It really is. 'Cause I can't tolerate that anymore. I truly find better content on YouTube.
The content on YouTube has gotten a lot better over the years when, there was only one guy talking 49ers. I was actually one of the first, not one of the first, but like back in 2010, when we first, I believe 2009, when we first got Crabtree that rookie year, I was part of the NFL Trash Talk Circle. So me and about 4 or 5 49er fans. This is before you could go live on YouTube. You could only post 10-minute videos at a time. But Rombo came out, and a few other guys followed him. And shout out to everybody who puts out 49er content. I mean, we have a gigantic huge circle in here, and it is what it is. We could probably got more 49 content creators than any other fan base out there. Yeah. Oh yeah. Brock's resume definitely speaks for itself. He's just got to, just got to get the monkey off his back for his short and not short, but for as young as his career is. That's the only thing he really, really has to do, in my opinion. Maybe we'll see. I don't want to hype him up too much, but I think Brock's a great person, the nicest person. We all know how much he's into his into God and the Lord and everything. I really, really credit him for that. A lot of people don't believe or whatever, but he's just an awesome role model. He cares about his teammates. He loves his teammates. Great person off the field. Great person on the field. Great player on the field. And you name it, he's it. So I must have been missing something. I got something in my notes because we talked. Okay, let's talk about the wide receivers because Ayuk did pretty damn good against the Cardinals. I forgot what his stat line was. I think he had like 170 plus yards, and which was awesome because hey, where's this guy? What's this guy doing? He's making 30 million, damn near 30 million a year. He's not showing up to it. He's not playing up at that high level that he's supposed to play. And he did play pretty awesome against the Cardinals, but we lost. But had himself a pretty good run. He was rated pretty good in this past game. He had 73 rating as far as the stat line this past game for Brandon Ayuk. He had, let's see, he only caught 2 passes actually, but each pass was an average of 18.5. And when they do have the ratings for the players, blocking is definitely a part of it, and just your overall route running.
I mean, he had 37 yards. Like what are we talking about? Something's not happening here. Something's not happening here that was happening last year that's not happening now. And it's bothering me. Like if we're going to pretend like BA's production, like I know he's out there running routes, but he's not contributing to these victories. We're not getting the production. Am I the only one concerned here that BA is not earning?
I was definitely
his money.
I was definitely much more concerned in the previous weeks. We did run the ball a lot this past game. I mean, even Debo with 102 yards he pulled up, he only caught 3 passes. I mean, one of them was that huge gigantic touchdown, which was awesome. Kittle had the most receptions. Purdy did spread the ball around. And if you look at how many people caught passes, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think there's 8 people total. It looks like right here. But yeah, eventually Ayuk has to be Ayuk though, especially against Kansas City, right? When we do need him to show up, he better show up in the Kansas City game. And ironically, I don't know if that hand is it a hand injury that Juwan Jennings has. He only had 3 catches for 27 yards, and we've seen
I don't know. Like that was another thing. Like something with Jennings happened in that Cardinals game that he got one more reception after he had that injury. He went out, came back in. There was one reception, if I'm not mistaken. I think there was just one more after that. I just something is happening in that offense. Like we're one of the best teams moving the ball down the field, but we're one of the worst teams in the red zone this season. I know that CMC's absence has played a role, but if you would have told me that it would have taken this big of a toll on us, I couldn't believe that. But I see it with my own eyes. Like we're struggling in the red zone.
Yeah.
But I don't understand what's happening with that chemistry and that connection that Purdy had with BA. I guess missing camp. I knew, and we preach this shit. We preach this, how Bosa said that missing camp had played an entirely different, it played negatively into his ramp up period. You can't deny that it had done something to BA as well. So it looks like BA is getting there, but we're not we're not making this shit happen. You understand what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the BA Purdy connection is just really, it's kind of dull, and it's not producing the stats that he needs for these paychecks. It's not producing the points that this team needs for these wins. It's costing us, and it's cost us these bust out losses that we've had versus the Cards and the Rams.
Yeah.
We really needed, you know,
When
I'm sorry,
not
in the
the
Cards
Cards.
game, he had 170 yards.
He had some
But
bad
when you
drops
needed him in the
previous
Rams game, yes. And then in the Seahawks game, what do we talk about? 37 yards.
Yeah.
2 receptions for 37
I'll let the
yards.
Seahawks game slide though, because like it was, it was 18 yards per catch, and we ran the ball like crazy. And not even Debo had a whole bunch of catches, but he did catch that one huge one. And even in one of those losses, I forgot what game it was, but there was one play where Ayuk was all the way down the field and open. People got pissed that Brock didn't throw his way. I wish he would have. I think Ayuk would probably at least cut that one. But at this point, it's put up a shut up for Ayuk. No more excuses, no more passes. I gave him a pass week 1, and that's about it.
But you know what? Before we put that to sleep, but BA was getting separation in those games where he wasn't targeted. I'm not understanding what's happening. I'm watching the games, I'm seeing the games, but it's not as fluid as it was.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use camp as an excuse 7 weeks into football. So, let's see what happens versus KC, because KC, they put clamps on him in the Super Bowl. So let's see.
We're going to shut this down in about 11 minutes or so. Before we do that, really quick, we're going to transition over to defense. But before we transition to defense, I do want to mention Ricky Pearsall. They did open up the practice window for him. Some things that might help in the red zone is whenever we do activate him. What I heard in camp, the little he practiced in camp was this guy gets separation like you won't believe in the short passing game. So that should help in the red zone. Hopefully he pans out. If you have any thoughts about Pearsall really quick before we transition to defense.
Well, I'm ready. I think we're all ready to see him. We were ready before that crazy incident with the dude that tried to rob him, the robbery situation. Like I was shocked, but now this fan base is ready to see their first round capital in action. I'm ready. I mean, I think we're all ready, and I don't have to speak for everyone. It's time. It's time. And I want to see this Kansas City. I want to see him when he scores a touchdown versus KC. I'm going to be ecstatic. I'll probably break something.
Assuming they activate, they might be.
They got to. They got to.
See it. Jacob Cowan said this guy has more swag than any white guy I've ever seen on and off the field. So if his fellow teammates giving him some type of praise like that, I'll take it. Hopefully it translates to touchdowns and catches and first downs. So we're going to transition to defense really quick. We actually picked up a new piece on our defense. From what I was reading, he's in the practice squad. I'm not sure if we're going to elevate him or not, but with Malik Mustafa, he has an ankle injury, is it what I believe? And a lot of people say Mustafa, but it's actually Mustafa. It's for those that don't know how to say his name. And some people say Malik, it's Malik. Adrian Amos, former Green Bay Packers safety, who I was watching Larry Krueger. I vaguely remember him on the Packers, but Larry Krueger says that this guy could probably cover better than any free safety that we have currently. That his strengths are in coverage. He's not a good run stopper. So it's gonna be interesting to see what we do with him. He's about 31 years old. If he actually becomes a contributor on this team, it'll be very interesting. But what do you think about the signing?
I'm excited. I know exactly who he is. I remember him. He was a problem in Green Bay, and I think that look, we don't need him to be a box safety. We have 2 of those. We don't need him to do any of that. We need a free safety. We need somebody like Tayshaun Gibson to take on that role. I'm excited. I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good signing. And it's got to transition. It has to transition well, because we're thin out back there now because of the injuries. And that's it. I didn't even know we signed him till about 30 minutes. I think you told me. You broke the news
told you before we started the show. And I forgot to mention that we released Terrace Marshall, who I thought we were going to elevate and have him on the squad. I know it's a bit of a crowded house with the wide receiver room. but this guy's proven that he's a pure deep threat. And for whatever reason, we released him. And I thought he has way more upside than Ronnie Bell does. I look at Ronnie Bell, I see no size, no speed, no nothing. And I thought Terrace Marshall will at least get a shot, and we just let him go. But I don't know if you want to talk about that really quick when we continue with the defense.
All right, no, we don't have to touch into it. I mean, I thought just like you. I thought he would make it. I thought at least they would try to utilize his speed and his deep threat, but it was Ronnie Bell that day. It was Ronnie Bell.
Yeah. Filthy Casual, welcome to the channel. I don't recognize you, but that's cool. Welcome to the channel. He says, why is the 49er defense so bad in the second half? Is Sorensen unable to make defensive adjustments on the fly? The question of Kenny fired up 49ers says, can we please go and get Robert Saleh back and demote our current DC? I love Robert Saleh. It's unfortunate what happened to him, how he got fired. Some people thought some politics played into it. He's of Lebanese descent. He was wearing the Lebanese flag, and we all know what's going on overseas, and some people thought that might have played into it. I don't know. I don't want to go that far with it.
I think he'd been wearing that patch,
but I heard he's been wearing it. I heard he's been wearing it.
So I mean, maybe not. I don't know. I think it was the A-Rod effect. I think Aaron went in there and started, talking shit and started, moving pieces around and doing his thing, and everything he touches eventually goes to shit. So Saleh's better off for it. He's better off for it, bro.
And now A-Rod has the luxury of Devontae Adams from the Raiders.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams going to the freaking New York Jets. I keep wanting to talk about the defense. Let me just rush into some points about the defense really quick before we end the show. And just to touch on some things. I feel bad because, not that the defense played an amazing game or anything, but we got to talk about them. Yeah, I agree with you. Sorensen has had his bad moments this year. Sometimes they originate from the special teams playing like crap, which Adrian Amos could possibly help in special teams a lot. He's great at coverage. We could throw him in as a special teams cover guy from time to time. Why not? I'd totally welcome that. But for whatever reason, the other opposing team gets momentum from our bad special teams play, and then the defense follows suit, which we can't see that happen anymore, especially against KC. Really quick, let me just rush it. Bosa, 14 pressures, right? No sacks. I thought he got a sack towards the end, but it wasn't. It was actually I'm so bad at this guy's name. Number 91, Sam Okwon Yinonu. I think that's how you say his name. He had the one sack, number 91.
I say Okwonu. You say I like to say Samo, so we don't
Samo, number 91.
I just like to call him Samo. But I love him. I like him, dude. I like him a lot. I thought that was Collins that had that sack. I didn't realize it was Samo, but God bless him.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I was watching a few reviews before earlier today, and then I found out. But yeah, I mean he's an unknown type of obscure guy. I've seen guys like that in the past with the 49ers, and they'll get these unknown obscure dudes that you think nothing of during the preseason. Lo and behold, in the regular season, we throw them in there, and they do something. Another guy who did that was Evan Anderson, he's a guy who I wanted us to get, or I was happy that we got as an undrafted free agent, because we never had that big, huge D tackle. And now we got some other guys in the mix, Malik Collins and Jordan Elliott. I get it, but he had a 93.3 rating. He wasn't out there too much. But on his 4 pass rush snaps, he had 2 pressures, which is it's a great ratio to have. Hopefully he keeps up with that. Transitioning over really quick to Malik Mustafa, 82.2 grade. He looks really good at free safety. It's unfortunate he got hurt. No missed tackles. I think out of all of our quote-unquote box safeties, it sucks that Hufanga got hurt. We get Jair Brown's in the mix. I think Mustafa can eventually become a nice free safety. George Odom was tested, man. Targeted 5 times. He gave up only 6 yards on 1 reception. They tried to throw DK Metcalf a deep pass here and there, and George Odom wasn't having it. Renardo Green, 76 rating, targeted 11 times, gave up 5 catches, had 1 pick, man. In the clutch. What do you think about the guys in the secondary, especially Renardo Green and a few other dudes?
Look, the rookies stepped up. They were huge. They were huge in the win. We may as well credit them for a lot of it because they played a huge role. And maybe this will change Kyle's mind on how he utilizes these young talents. I like it. Again, we always play Geno well. I think he has some stats out there that I don't see it transition when we play him. I always feel like we pressure the hell out of him. We make him throw errant throws. He throws it into the ground. He overthrows receivers. He misses guys. I don't know. His stats, my eyes, just things don't add up at times. That said, the rookies contributed to this victory. And I look forward to seeing more of it. You know, I want to see more of it. Malik is great. Renardo Green is awesome. Like, let's see more. Let's get these guys more reps so
Let's
that
see
they
more
can
of it
contribute
and
more
less
and
less
more.
of Yadam and less of Isaac Yadam, right?
Yeah, and less of Yadam, bro. Oh my God. I mean, at times that dude's desperation, he gets burnt and he just holds and he pisses me off so bad, dude. Like he just gets burnt, cooked, dude. Like I can't stand it. I do not want to see Yadam on this football team. He is not like, dare I say, I'd rather have Oliver than Yadam.
I don't want to bring this up, but how could Womack's having himself a nice little season? We should have kept Womack over.
I've been saying that. Everybody's shitting on me every time in group chats. Even you and I had this discussion, bro. I said Womack needs to stay here. We already spent enough. We already had him here. We spent plenty of time developing him. Now look at what's happening. We moved off him too soon. I said that 100 times over again. I got killed for it on the timeline. I'm telling you, Womack should have remained a 49er.
Yeah, and I hate the fact that he's
rated higher than any Niner. And
87.
We have to sit
overall.
back and watch it.
At least Lenore is doing something. I think Lenore is going to get himself.
Love Lenore, man.
Yeah, well, Ward
playing for the bag.
Honestly, at the end of the year, we're probably gonna let him walk because we can't keep him in Lenore.
Why? I mean, he hasn't done shit. I don't know how high can Travarius Ward's payday be? He hasn't done shit. At this point, he should be cheaper.
Should be. So there was something that I saw in the chat that was interesting. We're probably gonna wrap this up pretty soon. There was some other point that I was gonna say, but probably whatever, we could touch on it another time. It's okay, it wasn't that important. But there was one thing that I want to say. I remember I saw this a lot, like, oh, the rookies save the day for the Niners. Some of the negative Niner fans were like they're kind of trying to trash the team, like, oh, well, we would have won unless those rookies stepped up. They saved us. Like they're kind of saying it in a negative type of way. But it's like you can never win with these guys. These are the same guys who say, this team does not know how to draft well. Fire John Lynch and fire Shanahan because when they put their hands on certain players that we pick, they suck and they're trash. Blah, 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 blah. Well, lo and behold, guys, and I was seeing it in the preseason, by the way, and I was hearing good things in minicamp and training camp that certain rookies are looking pretty damn good. And I was like, okay. People said, oh, the Super Bowl window's closing. It's closing. But if we draft well and you already have that quarterback, that window still stays open. And, knock on wood, pray, do whatever you got to do, man. Hopefully we just keep it up with the drafting and hey, we'll still have a nice little window.
Yeah. I mean, look, play your youth. Play them. They need reps. If they given Womack more opportunities, we wouldn't be talking about him as an Indianapolis Colt. He'd be a Niner and he'd be contributing here. We gave up on him too soon. Excellent man. Excellent. In the preseason, he had some down plays.
The Raider game was some
good plays too.
The Raider game was his bad game.
But he had some good plays that game too. I know it. I remember it. But everybody remembers him getting cooked. Fine. But look at what's happening here. What? He couldn't play any worse here. I'm telling you, the Womack thing, that's gonna sting. It's gonna sting for some time. I'm telling you. I told you that, and I'm telling you now.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. At least, hopefully, Renardo Green balls out from here on out.
Renardo Green's gonna be fine here.
Yeah. I really hope he does.
But it wouldn't be bad to have a Womack here either. That stings, bro. Every week I see that dude ball out in their secondary, and I get so pissed.
Oh yeah. Before we
get guys like Ambry Thomas, a decade to figure out how the hell to play his position. And now
I hate to mention his name, but somebody pointed to one of my boys tweeted about Womack, how we should have kept him, and then it's like, oh, how do we keep him? And how do we let go of him? And then we kept Ambry Thomas, and Dave Lombardi responded on the tweet with this huge explanation of how to spin it. I don't know how he spun it, but I forgot how he did it. But it was just like, bro, you're not defending Ambry Thomas over Womack. I mean, you have no argument there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather have Ambry in there than Yadam. So,
yeah. I liked Ambry in the beginning, dude. I was doing a ton of mock drafts when Lenore and Ambry were coming out, and I saved. I probably did like about 12 mock drafts where I picked both of those guys to be Niners. And I was like, oh, cool, we drafted both of them. And in the very beginning, Ambry was making plays, and then I don't know what happened to him after that. But thank God that Lenore is looking like the real deal. I don't know what's going to happen.
Contributed. Ambry contributed when he needed to the most. He did. He made contributions to this ball club. Yadam though, Jesus.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody in the chat. We went a little bit over on our normal time. No big deal. I'm going to be going on 49ers First Takes over with Aaron at 7 p.m. Pacific time. If you want to catch me pretty soon, actually, after the show. So appreciate all you guys. Make sure to subscribe to the Locker Room Rant. The link is in the description.
We're going to go live here shortly myself.
Yeah, they're going to go live as well. So definitely check out his channel. Him and Nicholas Akalatis. Check them out. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, but listen, this is Kansas City week. Final thought, let's slay the dragon. Let's get this monkey off our back. Let's beat Kansas City. I'm tired of losing to them in Super Bowls. I'd like to beat them. It's been 10 years since we beat them. We beat them in 2014, bro.
With Alex Smith as a QB.
I think it was Kaepernick.
Well, Alex Smith was a QB for the Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
That said, Bash, the chat's been fire all night. Love you guys. It's always a good warm welcome here on your channel, bro. I appreciate you. That my final thoughts, bro. Let's slay this dragon. We got to beat the Chiefs.
Definitely got to beat the Chiefs. Come on, Niners. You got to do it. We got to beat those Kansas City Chiefs. I know
Bosa's got to get some sacks.
Yeah, Bosa's got to get some sacks. He's got to overcome whatever crap the refs throw at him, whatever crap KC tries to throw at him. And we all know he's a focal point of any offensive line, but he's got to find a way to do it. You know, especially Shanahan. If we do build a lead, keep the lead, and get touchdowns rather than field goals. You know what it is. Whoever's kicking the field goals, just make the short ones if we need to, and at least let's knock it into the end zone when it matters. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Keep repping those 49ers and stay 49er minded. Let's beat Kansas City Chiefs. Let's do this. Let's go. Niners, baby.
Peace.
Yeah.
Later, fam.
Thank you, John. Peace.
Go Niners.
Come on, 49ers, baby. Let's get it.
Because it's 49er time.
We got to do this one time for the Empire.
It's 49er mind. It's 49er mind.
We gotta get that brick by brick real quick.
49er mind.
Yo, we can't listen to them haters, man.
49er mind.
We from the Bay.
49er mind.
We them San Francisco 49ers.
49er mind.
We got that red and gold blood inside us.
49er mind.